guys, it's Gail right here. Welcome back to Nakama Lounge. This is your one-stop shop for everything anime related. This is a podcast talking everything and anything about anime, manga, you name it. We will be talking about it over here. Today, it's an EXPO hangover. We're going to be talking about whatever has been announced at Anime Expo, along with some other topics about the ongoing summer season, what we've been watching, along with obviously the big reveal of the Yu Yu Hakusho live action cast. Of course, today with me, I'm not alone, of course. We can't do these podcasts alone. But I have with me today is, first and foremost, say hello, mate.
How's it going? How's it going?
And along with this, we have Stacy. Say hello.
Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well and staying cool out there.
Yes, it is extremely warm out there. So hopefully you're staying cool. Hopefully you're staying safe. And of course, we've not been around for a little bit. So if you guys want to check us out on Spotify on the go, you can. Of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, well, why don't you get yourself subscribed? Because these podcasts are every 2 weeks. Unfortunately, due to circumstances, we couldn't air one in the last 2 weeks, unfortunately. But we're back. We're ready to go. Let's talk about anime. Now, the summer season has started, of course, and a lot of shows have dropped, and a lot of shows are still yet to come. I know one in particular that I'm anticipating that's dropping this Friday. But we'll start off with you. What shows have you been watching right now? Maybe they're part of the summer season, maybe they're not. But what have you been watching, and why have you been watching them?
Okay, well, I'm gonna start off with the the obvious one for me. It is Summertime Rendering. It was in the spring season, but is a two-core anime that is going into the summer as well. So right now, that is something I've been keeping up with because, oh boy, is it a doozy? And another one I've been keeping up with. Of course, we gotta talk about it. You know, the man, the myth, the legend. The Devil is a Part-Timer. That finally dropped, which, whoo, that first episode was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. I loved it. I missed it. It was such an amazing show. It was, I think, 9 years, I think someone said, since like the first season aired. So I've been on to that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm trying to remember. I know Engage Kiss, that's one I peaked at. It was alright. And then there's this one other anime that was made by the same creator of the Ganshikashi, the candy anime. I forgot the name of it. I think it was like something about the night, like something
Call
about
of the
like, night or something like that. There you go. Yes, that one. That one I'm also watching because that one's actually pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I'd say that Devil is a Part-Timer. That coming back is so cool. It's been 9 years. I mean, this season has been a lot about shows that have not had a anime TV series in like years. Classroom of the Elite, Devil is a Part-Timer, Made in Abyss. We know Made in Abyss has had movies, but we've not had a TV series in so long. Overlord hasn't had an anime adaptation in a long time as well. We're getting that 4th season. So it's been good to see all these old shows coming back basically as well. I would agree with you as well. Right now, for me as well, Summertime Rendering, and I think a couple of Cuckoos has been pretty much the ongoing series that I'm looking, keeping an eye out on that's coming in from the spring season. How about you, Stacey? What have you been watching lately? Has anything piqued your interest in terms of the summer season, or are you just kind of still watching the, weekly shows that have been going on like One Piece and stuff? How have you been finding anime so far?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched the latest episodes of One Piece for the past few weeks, but I need to. But the only like most recent anime that I've really like kept up with was Kaguya-sama. And I finished that obviously like really early July, and I watched Carol and Tuesday, and I finished Carol and Tuesday, and I liked it. And now I am currently almost finished with Komi Can't Communicate, which I really liked. I think it's super fun and charming. And right before this podcast, I started another anime, and it's an iconic one, and it's Gintama. So I am starting my journey with Gintama, and it's a long one. I was like, I need to start something, I guess that will, I don't know. I've been wanting to watch Gintama for a while. I was like, might as well start it now. Better to start now than later. So that's what I'm doing, and watched the first episode, and it was hilarious. So gonna definitely keep watching it.
No, definitely. That's good. I mean, it's finally happening. You're watching Gintama, which is great to see.
Yeah.
It's something that I actually need to rewatch as well. A couple of shows that I want to rewatch now, in all honesty, is Steins Gate. I haven't had a rewatch of Steins Gate in a long time, not since 2017, 2018, I think. And Gintama is another one that I want to rewatch sometime soon as well. So thankfully, you reminded me about that one. Um,
Yeah.
for me,
But
yeah.
I do want to watch Devil is a Part-Timer and
Mhm.
also Rent a Girlfriend season 2, I believe is
Ooh,
out now.
it is.
I've heard that it's corny. I don't know what's going on with season 2. I don't know anything about it. But I like season 1, so I'm
Yep.
definitely going to give season 2 a shot and see what's going on because what the hell. But anyway, no spoilers. I still want to watch it, but I'm just gonna wait
Yeah.
for more episodes to come out for both Devil is a Part-Timer and Rent a Girlfriend too.
Mhm.
It's not the anime, it's just the manga at the rate it's going at. That's why people are just like, oh,
Yep.
this is now a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
Damn.
I will say though, I did obviously have a video go up on 59 Animanga about the shows you should watch, and I put Rent a Girlfriend at a C rating for in terms of the shows you should watch. Primarily because I felt that people should still watch it if you're an anime only. Like for you, for example, Stacy, since you're only an anime only watcher, I would say you
Yeah.
should watch it to just see what happens. Because in all honesty, I just want to see the reactions. I'm in it for the reactions, to be quite honest. I cannot wait to see how people feel about the anime once we get to the phase or the arc we are in the
The
manga.
banana.
I think that's gonna be the biggest thing for me, personally, in terms of like why people
So
should still keep up with Rent a Girlfriend. What's up?
so is it basically manga readers that are just like suffering right now from the
Yes.
anime? So it's
Yeah,
just
yep,
manga readers. So
yep.
if anime
Mhm.
only will be fine
Yep.
essentially.
Yeah, I think the first half of season 2 is actually going to be decent in my opinion. I think it's still gonna it'll feel a little bit stretched out, and that's the biggest issue with Rent a Girlfriend. I feel is like it starts to feel a little bit stretched out every as each chapter slash episode will go on. So you might start to notice that, but I think for the most part, season 2 will actually still be relatively decent. I think for a lot of people to watch, so you should still be fine. I would say with season 2 for sure. Um, for me, I think the big ones, like I said, the one that's airing this Friday, Danmachi season 4. For me, I am so excited for that one. I'm an avid fan of the franchise. I play the gotcha game. I've read all the light novels. I'm a big fan of the series. So for them to drop the fourth season this Friday, I'm very excited about it. And on top of that, it's finally a two core. One of the biggest issues with Danmachi for me in previous seasons was that it was always one season when I felt like it should have been maybe two
Two.
cores or something, maybe 22 episodes, 23 episodes. Finally, for this season, they're going for a 22 episode season, which is fantastic. I'm so excited about that. And overall, I think the rest of the season, in terms of like other shows in the summer season, there are some good ones there. Like for example, Licorice Recoil. It's an original show by A1 Pictures. It looks decent. It so far has been pretty wholesome and fun to watch. The one show that I was expecting to be a complete degenerate show was My Stepmom's Daughter Is My Ex. I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was gonna be a basically domestic girlfriend VQ, but so far it's been pretty wholesome. I'm not gonna lie. It does seem like it's taking a lot of inspiration from Kaguya-sama. The core idea is there, like, oh, they don't want to, admit their feelings to one another. They want the other one to admit their feelings first. It feels like. So that I see a little bit of Kaguya-sama there, but of course it's the whole step mom, step sibling kind of side of things, which is making people a bit weary, I would say, about the series. But I think so far it's not been too bad. I would say, surprisingly, I will say I'm surprised about how decent it has
Yeah.
been. But yeah, there you have it. Those are the summer season shows, of course. Obviously, we're gonna keep you guys up to date with the shows we're watching in and out each week. One more thing I also want to mention is I want to talk about Made in Abyss. That first episode for Made in Abyss was dark as hell. I am what a start to that season, by the way. I don't know if any of you have been watching Made in Abyss or have started it. But oh boy, it was a very dark episode. Have you been watching it?
Made in Abyss, I haven't no.
Oh,
I've only
okay.
seen like the first one. I haven't seen the new one yet.
Okay. But yeah, I think that was a pretty dark episode. Well, what a way to start! I will say, I feel like I should have given a mention to that because that is I think going to be one of the anime of the seasons. I think that's gonna probably take it away. In all honesty. But before we continue on, we have a sponsor for this podcast. Big shout outs to Manscaped. We have an ad that's going to be playing right now if you're watching the premiere.
Support for the show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. You can get 20% off and a free worldwide shipping discount with the code down below on your screen right now at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that equates to around 8 million balls. So basically, we received the Performance Package 4.0 in the mail, and we're going to go through quickly what came in the package. So first things first, we did receive the Manscaped Weed Whacker. That's the first thing here, obviously. This is the electric nose and hair trimmer. Then they actually did provide us with some boxer briefs right here. Then we actually ended up getting the lawnmower trimmer over here. Then we ended up getting the crop preserver, which is a deodorizer, very useful. And then we got the crop reviver, which is a toner. So this package, very, very useful if you guys are interested in this. Even if you yourself are not going to use this, you can buy it as a gift for somebody. But yeah, just don't forget that in order to get this, you have to use the code. Well, you don't have to use the code down below, but it would give you a big discount if you use the code down below. 20% off and free shipping with the code. Depending on what podcast you guys are watching right now, it'll be different. But the code right here on your screen is what you use to get the 20% discount as well as the free shipping. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
And we're back. Thank you so much, Garesh, for giving us that beautiful, beautiful note about Manscaped. Be sure to check it out. Use code Nakama for a discount. And once again, thank you so much to Manscaped for sponsoring this podcast. Now, let's talk about Anime Expo. The title of the video is Anime Expo Hangover, the title of the podcast, I should say. And boy, oh boy, we got a lot of announcements, right? We finally got the release date for Stone Ocean, which I think we should talk about first and foremost. We got a new trailer as well. It's coming out in September, and it seems to be yet again classic Netflix. It's going to drop in one batch. So take it away. Stacey, let's start off with you. What do you think?
I don't know anymore. Like Netflix is just, I have lost like a lot of trust when it, comes to Netflix and stuff. So I'm not expecting much at all. Like, I don't know if you guys are. I would be surprised, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of lost faith. But yeah, I really have nothing else to say about it, honestly.
I think the biggest issue for me is that it's going to be another case of like, okay, if they are doing another batch of episodes and it doesn't end again, like say that is not the finale, right? The 24th episode is not the finale. Are we going to wait another like effectively a year? Because it was 9 months, 10 months now since the previous batch, right? Because they came out in December, and the new batch is coming out in September, which is the 9th month. So yeah, basically 10 months between the two, right? So are we going to wait another 10 months for the third batch of episodes or the third part, basically? I think that's going to be a little bit of a problem. I don't know if you've read the manga, so I don't know how well you can judge like how many episodes there are going to be left. But what do you think about the whole situation? Do you think that they're going to wrap it up here, or is there going to be another part that we're going to probably have to wait for even a longer time?
To be honest, with just the snippets that we've seen, it doesn't look like they're gonna finish in this batch. There might be another batch, but we don't know because the thing is, we didn't know because Stone Ocean when it first dropped, it was 12 episodes. If I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, it was 12 episodes. Yep.
It was 12 episodes. Okay, so knowing JoJo's fashions, I think they usually go for like at least like a good like 40 to 50 episodes per arc. Because I know Golden Wind was like 30 or 40 if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, let me just double check for you, but I think it was around that, if not a bit longer. I feel I know some of the seasons for JoJo's have been like solid like 40-50 episodes as well, right? But let me just check for Golden Wind for you in just a moment. But yeah, carry on. You can carry on until then.
Yeah, so essentially, like that's what I'm thinking. It's like if they're going for like the typical, like they're like 40 to 50 episodes, then yeah, there might be another full batch
Yeah.
of like potentially like if this is another 12 batch episode. All right, so it's 24, and now we're gonna have another 12 batch, which is gonna be 36, which might be the end of it because
Hmm.
I'm looking right now. The Golden Wind was up to 38,
Yes.
episode 38.
Hmm.
So this might be another. This might be a 3 batch if they don't make the next batch like 24 episodes.
Yeah.
So
But
it's I don't know, man. I don't know.
yeah, I think the biggest thing as well is I'm looking at the list right now of the episodes. Season one or Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency, they were 26 episodes. Of course, Phantom Blood was 8 to 9 episodes. Battle Tendency was I think 18 episodes. So give or take like 26 episodes. Stardust Crusaders was 48 episodes. Diamond is Unbreakable was 39. Golden Wind 39 as well. So Stone Ocean, give or take, will be at least, well, we know that at least it'll be the second part. I don't know how long Stone Ocean is. You guys can let us know if you're watching the YouTube side of things. Let us know in the comment section how long Stone Ocean is in the manga format compared to the other adaptations or the other parts. But if it is going to add another part, I think they really need to just sort of figure out a better way of doing this in the future, especially if they do an adaptation for part 7. Because I assume Netflix will have now JoJo's under their belt because they want to keep it as a staple in their in their streaming service because of how poor they've been doing recently in terms of their numbers. I think they'll want to keep a big name like JoJo's under their belt. So that in that sense, it's a little concerning for future parts like part 7 and stuff. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's a bit of an L the way they're going about it, especially with the batches. It's kind of a stupid decision, in all honesty. It's just gonna reduce the hype because everybody's gonna be done within a day, and you're not gonna have that week in week out hype. And the thing is, Netflix has other anime where they effectively have a 2 week gap. Like we were talking about Komi-san can't communicate, right? Komi can't communicate is basically what they do is they release it in Japan and then they wait for 2 weeks and then we get the English release on Netflix. So I don't know why they just don't do that. It would be a lot better than the way they're doing it right now. It's just a very, very, very weird decision, in all honesty. Let's talk about Bleach then, shall we? On to better news. Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War. We got the trailer for it. I know you want to probably talk about it. Go for it, mate.
Woo! I had to do that. Dude, it looks amazing. Like straight up. I know we also got we were also released the music that I completely forgot their name. It's drawing a blank on me. The new group that they're going against, but it just sounds so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like in all honesty, it just sounds like chef's kiss amazing. Like I'm just excited for just all the fights that are going to go through. Just all like especially Toshiro, the fucking boy. He finally gets to release his full fucking Bankai. I can't fucking wait. And obviously everyone's gonna talk about it, the Yoruichi fight. Everyone's memeing on it because they're just like memeing. It's like, yo, if Yoruichi fight ain't looking like this, I don't want it. I don't want it.
I don't want it.
But
for
other
sure.
than that, like just like the art style, like the revamp of like the older art style, like into this newer looking one it looks amazing. It looks like straight out of the manga panels. So I honestly cannot wait. And then obviously, we got our returning casts and stuff like that. So it's just all in all, this looks like it's gonna be an amazing season. And apparently, again, I'm bringing this back up. I don't know because this rumor is still spreading so much about how Disney Plus potentially trying to buy rights to the Thousand Year Blood War. I do not know. It's still that rumor is still going strong, and I don't know where or who said that. Well, apparently that rumor might be true. I don't know because the thing is, another anime that's on Disney Plus, but not for the American version, the American side of Disney Plus is actually Summertime Rendering.
Yep.
Summertime Rendering is on Disney Plus, but for Japan only.
Yep.
So I would not be surprised if Disney Plus is actually like Disney Plus Japan is lobbying to make the Thousand Year Blood War be on Disney Plus only as opposed to Crunchyroll.
Hmm.
So again, I don't know if that's fully true, but if it is, oh boy, that is going to be a doozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about this, by the way, I was just looking at Crunchyroll Expo's announcements, right? The just to see what their announcements are having at their expo later in August, right? At the end of August, they don't have anything for Bleach at all, which I'm kind of surprised about because Bleach is literally 2 months after that. So I think that rumor might be actually true. You know, it might actually be true because they have stuff for Chainsaw Man. They have a panel for Chainsaw Man. They have a Bungo Stray Dogs panel. They have a round table for Rising of the Shield Hero. They have other stuff like Blue Lock, Tonikawa, Mob Psycho 100, Inspector as well. So I think that's very likely. But yeah, I have to agree. I'm very excited about the Bleach announcements for sure. That they made at Anime Expo, along with the fact that the biggest one, in my opinion, for me personally, I think this was huge from Kubo, was that he said that a lot of the stuff that he wanted to put in the manga but couldn't is actually going to be in the anime. So this is kind of going to be like a reverse of what usually happens. Instead of having cut content for the anime, we're actually going to have more content for the anime, which is going to be so good. What do you think, Stacey? Well, of all the news, like what Kubo's mentioned and everything, how are you feeling about this announcement?
Yeah, man, like you guys know I'm like a JoJo fanatic and I'm honestly more excited for Bleach than for JoJo, which is like insane. So,
Yep.
like because I enjoyed Bleach and I like the characters, I like the concepts, the Bankai and all that. So, yeah, the trailers, everything, all the stuff that they've released for it already is just creating this amazing hype around it. And I think it's going to deliver. Honestly, I
Mhm.
don't think it's going to waver on our expectations. I think it's going to be amazing, especially for manga readers who say that the story, this next arc, is like incredible. So, I mean, I'm glad that they took the time to like really. It seems like they're going to get it right. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I hope so. They took their time to do this. So hopefully, it comes out on top and we get to really enjoy this last arc with Bleach and everything. So I'm excited. I hope it seems like everyone else is excited. And yeah, I think it's going to be great, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's gonna be the case. The biggest thing for me as well is like I'm really hoping it does well. And I know while I prefer if they just stopped it there and all, but with that one shot that we got a couple of months back, I think it was a year ago even for Bleach, right? I think we had that one shot where they went into the future, sort of Boruto esque, basically. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be I wouldn't reject the idea of another Bleach sequel effectively if need be, but as long as it's done well. That one shot was very promising, but they need to do well on top of that, right? But yeah, that was those were the two big announcements I would say at Anime Expo. We also had some stuff on Chainsaw Man, but we never really got a release date for it or anything. They're still targeting a 2022 release, from what I've seen. But I'm genuinely surprised that we still don't have a release date. We haven't gotten a fresh PV. I know they showed off a PV at the expo, but I think it was pretty much very similar to the original one. There were barely any new shots basically on that. I do know that they're coming at Crunchyroll Expo, so that's gonna be interesting. But the big announcement for me, and I don't know if either of you guys have read the manhwa, and it's a webtoon actually. And that is Solo Leveling is finally getting an anime adaptation, and yeah, I know a lot of people have been very excited about it. I think this is one of the big manhwas that people read and have looked into and have been wanting an anime adaptation for, of course, after Tower of God, God of High School and stuff. This was the one that everybody wanted, and we're finally getting one now. I'm hoping that it's from what I've seen, it's not a Crunchyroll original, so that's good at least. And I know it's being handled by A1 Pictures, so I have a little bit more faith in that regards. But I don't know. Either of you guys have looked into it? If you've seen the key visual, the poster that they posted, what are your expectations about it? If you guys have any actually, so have you looked into it? Maybe.
So yes, actually, it is. It's not a webtoon. Actually, it is a regular, just straight up manhwa
Okay.
because it's not on the webtoon application.
Is it on?
It no, it's not.
I swear it
It
was, but okay.
is nope. It is not on webtoons. It is straight up just a manhwa. It was a
Okay.
light novel adapted into a manhwa.
Okay.
So, but dude, I remember reading like the first, like when the chapters were like, I think it was only like 20, 30 chapters out. I remember my
Mm-hmm.
friend was like, yo, get on this solo leveling, it's really good. And I gave it a shot. I instantly loved it. It's just dude, just the story that it portrays is really well done. The
Mm-hmm.
characters, like there's like actual characters that you're just like, oh dude, I love this character, or like, oh dude, I hate this character. And that's what you want for, like, a story. It's like you want people to convey those emotions, be like,
Yep.
and not like, have a main character and people will be like, oh, I don't like this main character. Main character's kind of meh. Well, having like an antagonist and then be like, oh wow, this antagonist should have been the main character, this and that, blah blah blah. But it actually makes you, like, portray those feelings. Especially like the main character, like my boy, he's just like you start off like with him like being, the stereotypical person turning into, essentially, like, you go with him as he changes himself into the person that he becomes at the end of the story.
Yep.
And that's what I love about stories like that. It's like where you don't start off with a character that's completely, like, overpowered, or completely, like, already out the wazoo, just as cool and whatnot. It's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
he starts off one way and then he ends up how he, people will want in the main character at the end of the story. So that's what I loved about it. The one thing I did hear about solo leveling that might be a
Yep.
little bit different, that wouldn't make sense, is that they're changing it so that way it's no longer in Japan. It's no longer in Korea, but it's in Japan, which
Mm.
What
will
the heck?
That's
That's
a little
weird.
bit iffy. I
that's
didn't know
that
about that actually. That's a bit iffy.
which yeah. So
That
the
doesn't
thing
make
is,
sense.
it really doesn't make sense, because the thing is, what solo leveling is on, like, not only is about the characters, it's also about the world.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, all, like, you, like, not only you have to, like, like, essentially, like, they have a hunters association. Like, not only do you follow Korea's hunter association, you also follow America,
Mm-hmm.
um China, Russia. They even have like, there's a whole entire story arc about Japan's hunter organization, about how they need Sung Ji Woo, who is the main character, to go to, like, an island in Japan because of this whole entire, like, pandemic that's going on, and they
Mhm.
need his help. And it doesn't make sense if they're going to do it Japan, because it's like that. His whole entire
Yeah.
thing was he's a Korea's Hunter Association going to Japan, and then not only does he go and help them, when it comes to hunter associations, they're just like, they pride themselves about, like, their hunters. They pride themselves about, like, oh, we got the best of the best.
Yep.
And so the fact that they outsourced to someone else, it basically dwindled their population in, hunter association, and it made, like, Japan, like, think twice. It's like, oh, are we really that good? So
Yep.
the fact that there's a rumor saying that it's going to take place in Japan as opposed to Korea, that's what doesn't make sense. And that part of the story
Mm.
will basically be like, well, what the fuck is going on now?
Yep.
So
Yeah, I'm having a look actually at an article right now. And the moment you mentioned that, I decided to look it up. And just to give you guys an idea, is so like is mentioned that we have the original manhwa, right? Then they decided to adapt it into a Japanese light novel, right? Which is fine. You can adapt it into various things from there on, right? But the light novel actually changes a lot, a couple of the stuff. The first thing that they changed was that whole anti-Japan stance that you mentioned, right? And then on top of that, the names also changed. Like apparently in the trailer and what the light novel, instead of Sung Jin Woo, it's actually Shun Mizushino is his actual name, the main character. So
What?
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'd prefer it if they kept it to the original, and I wish, like, even the light novel, I wish didn't change this stuff because that's the core idea of the series and that's the core story. They shouldn't change that. I think that's a bit of an L, in all honesty. I don't know if I hope A1 Pictures doesn't do that, but ooh, I didn't actually know about this. This is completely fresh news to me. But I mean, if I were to choose, I mean, we still don't know officially what it is, but based on that trailer using the Japanese light novel name, it may seem like they might go down the Japanese light novel route, which would be like a bit shocking to a lot of like fans of the series who have read the original, right? Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that. Stacy, I know you've been not happy about it as well. What do you have to say about that?
That is just so weird to me. I don't understand the purpose of it at all. Like I'm currently reading Solo Leveling. It's
Hmm.
taken me a while to like get through it just cuz like I'm just consuming so many different medias at once like all the time.
Yeah.
But I am like maybe a third or a fourth of the way through the manga, like 60 chapters in, and or manhwa, sorry. It's really good and I really enjoy it. I just don't understand why you literally, what is the point of this decision? Like what is the basis of this? There's no reason why it should be
Hmm.
anywhere else besides Korea where it was meant to be. So, and yeah, like is said, I am just now like getting into like the American Hunter Association and everything like that. So, I'm excited to like see where it goes and stuff, but it's just like this sort of decision doesn't make any sense. Like there is no point in changing the or like where the story takes place. So, especially because the characters' names are all going to be different than the
Yep.
manhwa because like they're all Korean names and they're now going to be Japanese. Like I don't get it. I hate it. I hate that decision. But
Yep.
I mean, the story itself, as long as they keep the story, the same and the characters the same, they don't change anything really like anything else, and it should still be good.
Yep.
But that's just like a major L before the story even or before the anime even drops, It just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth for manhwa readers. I don't know. I don't like that decision at all. It doesn't make sense to me.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna real quick interject real quick.
Go ahead.
Just to like reiterate what, my previous statement. It's well, just so people know, Webtoon is an actual service. Just for those who don't know, Webtoon is an actual service in for America that has its own like manhwas that like it not only does it like produce like manhwas from Korea, but they also do for English people like English creators actually put their manhwas like their own style manhwas on that app.
Yeah.
For solo leveling, the English because like if you look it up, it says webtoon, but it's actually like it's still manhwa, but it's a webtoon for actually web novel and tappytoon, which well sorry webtoon web novel, tappytoon, pocket comics, and tobas,
Hmm.
which are the English based version of like webtoon. So I just want to make sure like that reiterate that for like people who don't know like the difference.
Yep.
There is a difference between webtoon like the actual service and then webtoon like different services. So I just want to reiterate that.
Yep. Yep. All good. All good. But yeah, I have to agree with you on that one, Stacy. I think it's a weird decision to take so early on, especially because I kind of I get what their the reasoning is because of course Studio A1 is based in Japan, and they could run the risk of promoting anti-Japanese stuff as a result, and that would lead to issues with the government and stuff like that. But I still think it's kind of like when it comes to stuff media like this, it's you have to show this sort of stuff because it's how the creator wanted it to, and how the creator planned to push the story as a result. So you can't change that sort of stuff, in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. I really hope that they don't take this decision. It's still very early days, right? The anime adaptation doesn't come out till 2023, so we still have a long time. Realistically, I think we'll probably start getting trailers and stuff come January, February, most likely. The one good thing about the animes that we do know, outside of this shenanigans that I actually didn't we didn't I'm surprised that I didn't read about this earlier on. But the one good thing about the anime adaptation is that Hiroyuki Sawano is going to be doing the soundtrack for the series, or for the anime adaptation, I should say. So that's great. Obviously, Sawano Goat, has done some amazing tunes for shows like Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill, 86, and so on and so forth. So very excited to see how he does with solo leveling. I think he'll knock it out of the park. And yeah, there we go. So those are the majority of the Anime Expo announcements that we wanted to talk about. Of course, we will talk about Chainsaw Man in much more detail once we get a release date and an actual new PV come Crunchyroll Expo, hopefully. So keep an eye out on that podcast. We will talk about it in the future. Let's talk about another big announcement that happened in the last couple of days, even, and that is the Yu Yu Hakusho live action cast has been officially revealed. Yes, Yu Yu Hakusho is getting a live action. We've we discussed about the live action a couple of months back, I think, on the podcast. We were talking about the One Piece live action, and then obviously the Yu Yu Hakusho one came up. But now we officially have some faces to go with the names. So we have the four characters. We have Kuwabara, Yusuke, Hiei, and Kurama's actual actors now officially revealed. And I just want to start off by saying I don't know why they chose the person they did for Kuwabara, because that does not look like Kuwabara at all. Kuwabara looks horrible, bro. I am not a fan of that. I am just straight up not a fan of what they've done with Kuwabara. It's so weird to see like the changes. It's a subtle change. You can tell the difference in hair color, the difference in the hairstyle. It just looks so odd. Is what do you think about the live action cast? I had to just get Kuwabara off my chest because that sounds kind of mad, but I had to just get him out of my way because he was honestly the worst one out of the four we've seen.
So Yusuke doesn't look that bad. I will admit, and same thing with Hiei. Like those two don't look just straight up like they look like they can actually play their roles. Like we have to give them, let's give them a try. But again, Kuwabara though, again, it's like what also doesn't make sense is that Kuwabara was essentially like he's like very muscular in a sense, like but he's tall, like he's like
Yep.
comparatively to everyone else, like he is tall, like he's supposed to be like essentially a giant compared to them. But the fact that this Kuwabara does not look like that at all, like
Mhm.
I can't necessarily say like, oh, he's not gonna fit because like
Oh,
again we just have a picture, so I don't know
yeah.
exactly how tall he is or how they're gonna be. How
They
he's gonna
better make him
look.
tall. They better make him look tall. Like, I
But
don't care.
I
You
swear to God, if he's
CGI.
the same, I swear to God, if oh dude, if he's as tall as if Yusuke is as tall as him, then
That's a problem.
we're gonna have some fighting words. And then Kurama, like I don't know, like Kurama's another one, just like I don't know. It looks like it's there, like he looks like the standard pretty boy, but at the same time, he's just straight up. I don't know. He just doesn't have that pizzazz that Kurama had. So
Mhm.
again, that one is like also is like close to Kuwabara one. It's like why did you go with this? But again, we'll have to see with his acting. Then,
Yep.
like I said, with Hiei looks fine, and Yusuke also looks fine. It's just how they're gonna portray those characters. So that's pretty much it for me, really.
Yeah, again, like you said, I think Hiei for me looks somewhat okay. Kurama bad. Yusuke, I want to see him in action before I say anything about him, but Kuwabara is bad. Stacey, what do you think about the cast? I don't know if you had an opportunity to look at it. I know it's been spreading all like wildfire over the internet. Every time they dropped a poster, it would be just like, oh no, it's Netflix at it again, kind of thing. How are you finding the new actors for them, and what do you think? Are you still optimistic or no?
No, I never will be
Okay.
when it comes to live action animes. Like, I
Mhm.
never will be optimistic, and it's gonna be bad, like as usual.
Yep.
Not gonna be anything new. We already know how this will probably turn out.
Mhm.
I mean, more than I mean, probably like 99% of anime adaptations are bad. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure why Netflix keeps doing this. I
Yeah.
just don't get it. Because they have failed numerous times. I mean, just the whole entertainment industry has failed numerous times to give us a live action anime adaptation.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like pictures of the cast, no matter what they do, I will just not be optimistic. Like, yeah, some of the cast looks okay. Like, I agree, Yusuke looks good. I mean, I don't know, it doesn't matter though, because to me it's just, yeah, it's not going to be done well. I don't know why Netflix keeps choosing these like crazy animes to like adapt, like One Piece, Cowboy Bebop, and Yu Yu Hakusho, just Bleach, like all of these crazy ones with crazy stories and effects and like a lot of stuff going on, and they could like perfectly do like Fruits Basket or something, like something a little bit more mild and
Yep.
something like not crazy. It's like just adopt some cute slice of life romance comedy animes or something like that. Like, we don't need just leave Yu Yu Hakusho alone. Just leave One Piece alone. Leave Bleach alone. We don't need it. We don't want it. They always end horribly. So I'm not optimistic by any means.
Yeah, I think the one thing you mentioned there, like, is like slice of life adaptations. Why don't we get some of them, right? Like, with especially how popular Kaguya-sama is. I mean, we know that there is the Japanese live actions going on, but they could easily adapt that into an English version very easily, I feel. And there are so many other rom-coms and slice of lives that have absolutely done super super well, but have never gotten live action adaptation. But the thing is, as well, I will say this though, the stuff we've seen from the One Piece live action though, I have to say that's not bad at all though. But I feel like a lot of that has come from the fact that Oda is actually invested in making that look good, kind of thing. And they're actually listening to him for once, unlike some other series that they've been working on, like Avatar and stuff. But they're actually listening to him. The set pieces look good. The casting has been solid so far. I'd say, in all honesty, it's not been bad.
Yeah, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
When it comes to One Piece is a massive undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
And the story, you have like a huge fan base, a massive fan base. The story has been going on for like decades at this point. And it's a huge world. And it's like, so how is this going to go? So, I mean, if they're going to do this, they're going to be doing production for decades as well. Like, it's going to take a very long time if they're trying to do like the entirety of One Piece. I know obviously the first season is not going to be like, it's only going to scratch a little bit of the story. Yeah. But it's just like, we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. How the hell are they going to show Chopper? How the hell are they going to show Brook? How are they going to show Gomu Gomu no and Luffy stretching everywhere? Like, how is that going to happen? I can't imagine it. It's going to be weird and awkward, and I'm so not looking forward to it. I'm sorry to sound pessimistic, but I love One Piece, and, I love Yu Yu Hakusho, and they keep, like, making these adaptations of these amazing animes, and it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, I just refuse to watch any of them. I don't want to watch Cowboy Bebop. I don't want to watch, any of the live actions. No, I don't want to. I never even thought about it. I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm watching the live action Cowboy Bebop. I love Cowboy Bebop way too much to do that.
Oh man, I will say as well, like, you make a valid point in that we were actually talking about it right before the podcast started, Iz and I, before you joined us in the voice call. We were talking about Chopper and stuff and who they're gonna cast for that and stuff. But I think the one thing I will say as well is that we've just been heard way too many times. I think the only good live action adaptation that we keep harping on about has been stuff like Rurouni Kenshin and, like, the Japanese versions of Death Note, not the Netflix one, but the Japanese versions of Death Note and stuff. And even then, they're very basic in their effects and stuff. They're not, like, as you say, the crazy effects that One Piece will have, the ones that Yu Yu Hakusho will have, right? And
it's not just the effects, it's also the characters. One Piece has insane characters and weird looking characters, like, everywhere. So it's just like, how are y'all gonna do this? How are y'all gonna do this successfully? I mean, Oda can do his best, but writing a manga and making actual live action production,
very different,
and everything that you have to do with that is just totally different. So I don't know. I'm glad Oda is a part of it, but I mean, the author for Game of Thrones was part of the Game of Thrones production and stuff, and they didn't listen to him. So, like, you know how that ended.
No, the one thing as well I have to also add on top of that is today, I think I saw an article today. It's one of the reasons why I thought this would be a good topic to have on the podcast as well, along with the Yu Yu Hakusho stuff, is I saw that they were talking about, in one of their blog posts, that they were talking about, series that they want to make franchises, basically, and make, like, Stranger Things-esque kind of, like, multi-season kind of thing, right? And I saw two other shows. I don't know what there were, some Western shows or something. I don't know, to be quite honest, what shows they were. But I did notice that they included One Piece in that list. So it does seem like they at least have plans for One Piece to go long. It's just that, like you said, it's such an undertaking, and I don't know if they can do that, right? Especially, like you said, the vast character roster that they have, the effects, like you said, and all that jazz. It's going to be an arduous process, and it's not going to be easy at all.
It's not just going to take a lot of freaking money. It's going to take so much time. If you're going to try to do One Piece right, you need to make things accurate. You need to do the casting right. You need to make the effects like really good. I don't see it happening like at all. One Piece is crazy to take over. So I don't know. We'll see how the first bit goes, and I mean, I think One Piece might be the only one I might give a shot at watching for the live action, but Yu Yu Hakusho, absolutely not. There's no way.
Yep, absolutely
So
agree.
I was gonna say real quick one thing too. It's if you guys probably didn't realize it, but the thing is there's one other live action that actually did pretty decently, especially like to like audience scores was the actual Bleach anime that Netflix did. That
Hmm.
live action, that one actually did pretty well. I even watched it. Like I thought it was pretty fine. I'm looking at like some of these like I was just like looked it up because I was curious. Like some of these people who've like read the manga, who've watched the anime, blah blah blah, they said that it was actually done pretty fairly. Obviously, albeit with like little things here or there that's a little wonky. With some of like the character choices for the casting, but like for all in all, especially on Rotten Tomato of all places, like the tomato meter was at 71%, and then for
Hmm.
the audience score was at 76. So the fact that a live action anime movie adaptation actually did that, just got it at 76. Like, although yeah, 70 isn't that great of a score, but like if you really think about it, for an anime movie adaptation,
Yeah,
like
it's better.
especially nowadays, that's actually really well. So Netflix like coming out with Bleach actually did pretty well.
Hmm.
I think that is where this whole entire need to do live action animation really, you know, dived in for them. They're like, "Oh, we got to do this now because, because they did pretty decently on Bleach, they think, "Oh, we can do this and this and this." So I'm pretty sure that's around the time where they thought maybe this is where they're going to dip their toes in. That's why we're getting all these live action anime adaptations.
It's
So
possible, yeah.
don't knock Bleach. I will say this: don't knock Bleach till you try it. Like if you've given it a shot, then okay. Like especially talking to the audience. Like if you give it a shot, you didn't like it, it's fine. But like it it did pretty decently. I will admit for someone who has also watched Bleach, like especially when they're trying to cram that whole entire season to a movie, which was a little weird. They left out some stuff, but it didn't do that. It didn't do that bad as people who haven't seen it are proclaiming it did. So
Hmm.
that's what I just gotta say.
Yep. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Now, of course, I think unless does anybody else have anything to add regarding the live actions and stuff? You want to talk something else about it? Maybe.
No, I'm good.
All right, perfect.
No, I'm good.
All right, now we move on to a little bit more of a sad topic. Of course, recently, about 2 weeks ago, we heard about the tragic passing of Kazuki Takahashi, the author and creator of the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise and manga. And it came as a shock to all of us. I still remember it. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon or something like that, and I saw a tweet from the NHK, one of the big news outlets in Japan, reporting the incident. Of course, we now know that he passed away, drowning at sea, basically. Huge condolences to his friends, families, those close to him, of course. And yeah, I wanted to make a small section for him personally because the impact he's had on not just me, but a lot of people across the globe. Yu-Gi-Oh is a massive franchise. It's one of the most well-known shonens out there, right? And I wanted to just say one thank you to him one last time for creating such an amazing series and providing us with an unbelievably long lasting franchise that I will still love forevermore, and so many others will still love as well. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to add regarding him, is or Stacy. If you've had any memories of Yu-Gi-Oh you want to mention, the floor is yours, guys.
I mean, he created one of the biggest like card games ever. I mean,
Hmm.
people still play it today, so you definitely have to just respect the man for like what he brought to this world. Yu-Gi-Oh is amazing, and it actually was like probably it was the third anime that I ever like really got into. The first was Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, and then it was Yu-Gi-Oh. So like Yu-Gi-Oh was and still is just, a big part of my like anime I guess, lore, you would say. So, I mean, I really appreciate, you know, the creator for making something as big as Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's still going very strong today. Even though the card game is super hard, I can still appreciate it a lot. And I've been rewatching Yu-Gi-Oh! Here and there. And yeah, it still is an amazing show. And he created a masterpiece. So much love and respect.
Yep, for sure. Is anything from your end, main?
Yeah. So, like obviously you guys said like like he created a childhood, and he created my childhood. I will never forget. When it first started airing in the United States, like I was all over it. I wanted like the cards. I was able to go out get myself like a starter pack. Play with my friends. Funny enough, dang, if I knew we were gonna do this, I would have gone and got it. But right now, I'm currently at my brother's and sister's house, which was my old house growing up. And in our garage, like downstairs, like in the garage, like on the second, like in the attic type area where we keep storage, I actually have a first generation dual disc that for not like first generation in the show, like first generation, like the ones that they pumped
Yep.
out when Battle City when the Battle City arc came out.
Mhm.
So that dual disc, I actually have it still in box. Because it was going to be for a Christmas present, and then like I never got it because my dad forgot about it, this and that, and I didn't find out till like 2 years ago that we had it in there. So yeah, just everything about that is just like it was just like an amazing thing. Like I love card games. I've always loved card games. Yu-Gi-Oh has always been my top one, but because and if you think about it too, if it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh, we wouldn't also get all these other card games like
Mhm.
it was Shadowverse. We wouldn't have Card Fight Vanguard. What was that other one? I'm like drawing a blank on it. It was another popular one.
Was it Duel Masters? I think it was. That was also after Yu-Gi-Oh, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like it was a little bit
I
inspired
believe
by it.
so.
Yes.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have gotten all these card games as well.
Mhm.
So essentially, it's just like he helped pave the way for something like this, and so there's nothing but we can do is just say have our condolences, but congratulate him, say like yes, he left this world, but he left this world as a legend for time to come.
Yep.
Because now, like, if you will, like, and no matter how far back you go in, like, card games, like, playing with as kids, Yu-Gi-Oh would always be like the forefront of all these massive, just like the massive like outburst of let's get these card games out for kids and stuff like that. Let's come
Yep.
up with our own card games, stuff like that.
Yep, I absolutely agree. He's left his legacy and a stamp on the world that nobody will ever forget, pretty much. As the game continues to live on, we get new series or we get new iterations of video games. Like, for example, obviously, right now we have Master Duel that just released a couple of months ago, right? He's left a stamp on his world, and I don't think any of us will ever forget that. So, once again, big thank you to him, and may he rest in peace. And we'll keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh, mate. We'll keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh. But there you have it. There's the podcast. That's the 4th episode of Nakama Lounge done and dusted. Once again, thank you so much to our sponsor, Manscaped, for sponsoring this podcast. And of course, thank you so much to Iz and Stacy for joining me on this podcast. As always, we will be back in about 2 weeks' time to get you guys another, I would say, fortnightly dose of anime. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening on to this podcast. We will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.